In the pre-dawn hours of August 14, 2005, a Boeing 737 sits quietly on the Larnaca tarmac in Cyprus, a machine of routine, crewed by professionals, trusted by families. The passengers board, make calls, stow bags, and never imagine they're about to enter one of aviation's most chilling mysteries. What happens when a simple oversight can render the sky silent when technology keeps flying but humanity vanishes from the cockpit? This is the story of Helios Airways Flight 522, the ghost plane that would haunt the world. 9:07 a.m. The aircraft known as Olympia Flight 522 takes flight, bound for Athens, then Prague. Its captain, Hans-Jürgen Merten, is a 59-year-old veteran of German and Cypriot Airlines, with over 16,000 flight hours. Beside him, First Officer Pampos Cherlimbascom, experienced. Passengers, 115, a cross-section of Cyprus and Greece, families and children. The Boeing 737-300 climbs confidently, its engines roaring a modern marvel, or so it seems. But deep inside the aircraft, a tiny switch carries a secret. The night before, ground engineers, resolving a door seal problem, had set the cabin's pressurization to manual at temporary state for maintenance checks. Standard, unremarkable, but the pressurization switch was never put back to auto. Neither captain nor co-pilot catches it, not during pre-flight checks, not after engine start, not after takeoff. 9:12 a.m. A shrill horn wails inside the cockpit as the aircraft passes 12,040 feet. The cabin altitude warning, but to this crew, it means something all too mundane. The sound is identical to another alert, the takeoff configuration warning. Confusion settles in. They believe they're hearing a false alarm. They call ground control to report an air conditioning problem. They don't check the pressurization panel again. As the plane ascends, oxygen thins, the invisible enemy tightening its grip. With each breath, the crew grow clumsy, then foggy and able to answer questions clearly. In less than 10 minutes, communication with ground fades into eerie radio silence. 9:23 a.m. Flight 522 levels off at 34,000 feet. By now, unconsciousness is taking hold. Inside the sealed hole, 121 souls passengers. Crew are helpless as the aircraft maintains course on autopilot, looping over Athens, lost to the world below. The loss of pressurization sets off a chain of biological effects. Hypoxia, deprivation of oxygen, creeps in with deception. Symptoms: confusion, slow response, euphoria, tunnel vision, finally blackout. The time of useful consciousness at this altitude is less than a minute. The pilots never reach for the oxygen masks. The silent autopilot continues, indifferent. Down below, air traffic control is frantic. Attempts to radio are met with haunting silence. Fighter jets are readied. The plane, still under the illusion of routine, cruises aimlessly high over Greek airspace. It is now approaching 2 hours into the flight. On radar, the aircraft is alive and moving, yet, from the ground, there is no sign of life. The Greek military is alerted to a renegade aircraft. At 11:05 a.m., to F-16s streak into the clouds, intercepting the silent airliner at 34,000 feet. What they see will send a chill down their spines forever. Through the cockpit window, the first officer is slumped over the yoke, unmoving. The captain's seat is empty. The cabin is eerily lit by hanging oxygen masks. No movement, no sound, no hope. Somewhere in the fuselage, snippets of cell phone ringtones, silent goodbyes, and answerable prayers. 11:49 a.m. A sudden movement. Andreas Prodromou, a 25-year-old flight attendant, one of a handful aboard with a pilot's license, takes the captain's seat. He alone has survived the creeping grasp of hypoxia, clinging to a portable oxygen tank far longer than most. His girlfriend, another flight attendant, is rumored to try helping him, but official records show a lone struggle. With the aircraft nearly out of fuel, Andreas tries frantically to revive the inert controls. He waves at the F-16s, attempts to transmit a desperate mayday, but his calls go unreceived, lost on the wrong frequency, forever recorded only on the cockpit voice recorder. The engines finally begin to fail, first the left, then the right. Without power, the plane banks away from densely populated Athens, a final, instinctive act of heroism. 12:03 p.m. Over the hills near Gramatiko, Greece, the ghost plane slams into deserted land. The impact is catastrophic. The news will soon break worldwide. 121 souls gone, no survivors. It is the deadliest aviation disaster in the history of Greece and Cyprus. In the days that follow, the mystery deepens. How could a simple setting a forgotten switch bring down a modern jet? Blame circles on the maintenance crew, on procedures, on the airline, on Boeing for using identical alert sounds for vastly different warnings. Investigators uncover a tapestry of tragedy, organizational mistakes, inadequate oversight, Checklist discipline failures. A record of previous pressurization anomalies in the same aircraft, which had never led to comprehensive fixes. Boeing is forced, years later, to require new warning lights in hundreds of cockpits worldwide. The visible errors are matched only by invisible costs. Whole families lost. Legal wrangling. Manslaughter charges. Sentences commuted. Helios Airways, rebranded as Alpha Jet, quietly disappears into the annals of failed airlines. Yet, the lesson lingers. Above Greece, flight path cross, and the world moves on. But for all who fly, the fandom of Helios 520 hovers a solemn warning that, in the skies, it's not turbulence, nor storms, but silent sand, a single overlooked detail that can be deadliest of all. Please hit the like button and consider a subscribe if you like this content.